303, of course, the main event, Alex Pereira, Jiri Prochazka. I did a video yesterday on YouTube channel saying, I think, as I said to Tom, I think Yuri's going to knock him out. It's a tremendous fight. Of course, Pereira has the ability to knock him out. He's finished him already, and he does that to everybody. And I'm a massive fan of Alex Pereira, the way he handles himself, the way he carries himself. He's very stoic. He's very scary, but he's a nice, big, seems to be a gentle sweetheart and a caring man underneath it all. So I wish him nothing but success, and I'm really, really happy for all the impact that he's made in mixed martial arts. But if I'm picking the fight, I'm going to say Jiri Prochazka. But Jiri Prochazka, Harrington, is accusing Pereira of using dark forces, correct?
Yeah, so he said that, it's known by everybody that Alex taps into the spiritual realm when he goes into fights. And you know what? Let's let Jiri explain it.
With Ariel, you were talking about Alex using shamans and spiritual. Can you kind of explain that?
Now I understand. Thank you. Yes, everybody knows that, and he's doing these rituals before the fight. He's everybody can feel that what's around him and what's going on. So, and I think Alex can't fight without that. So, and that's something what he's using like normally in a fighting. And let's see. This is like right now. This is my challenge to him. If we can fight in a clear way in this case, to be not without like some another things, some whatever, but let the higher power be there in the cage to see who's the best in the world, in the performance, in the pure performance. That's all.
Hey, listen, fair play. That's why I love Jiri Prochazka. And maybe that's why I picked him, because I just really, really enjoy his personality. Yes, of course, I do think he can knock him out. I'm kind of joking. The reality is, though, for Jiri, hey, listen, if it doesn't show up on a USADA or whatever the organization's called test now, it's clean. You know what I mean? The shaman doesn't show up on the piss test, but it shows up in the octagon. I don't know if that's, all jokes aside, I don't know if that's, is that a little bit of mental weakness, a little bit creaking in there, that he's trying to think of a reason why Pereira's being so successful? I know that Jiri is a spiritual guy. He is a deep thinker. He is kind of a philosophical man. So maybe he's just looking deeper into it. Or do you think there's a possibility that he's like, well, listen, he must have some kind of dark forces on his side, because no man alive can be that successful?
Well, I mean, I think that was my first inclination, was obviously like, yo, this is a little bit nuts. But then, I don't know, I looked a little bit deeper into it, and it's like, you know, as the kids say, you know, who has the best aura in the UFC? You know, like that's a big talking point for them. And I feel like Alex is that dude, right? Like Alex has that like feeling of invincibility, of invulnerability when he walks into the cage. And I feel like Jiri might be feeling that a little bit. And he's not wrong. I have the video proof prepared that Alex Pereira does in fact have his shamans working diligently to get the win here.
Yeah, there's nothing there, Harrington, that would make me think that he's in line with the devil. You know, there's nothing that makes me think that he's cheating in any way, shape, or form, that he's going through a traditional ceremony with his people, with his tribesmen, a throwback to where he comes from, and recognizing the journey that he's been on. Nothing wrong with a bit of good old-fashioned tradition, Harrington.
No, and I'm not saying there is, but when you are calling on the ancestral bloodline of that entire tribe to be following you into the octagon, Jiri doesn't have that behind him. And for somebody who is as spiritually inclined as Jiri Prochazka is, that actually might be that might have an effect on him mentally.
Yeah, but this is fantastic for Pereira. If he goes out there and he wins, because I'm assuming he sells a lot of merch. He has some pretty cool merch out there. He wears all his T-shirts and stuff like that because, of course, that's the best advertisement. This is the perfect idea for a t-shirt, you know, Black Magic Pereira or whatever it be, you know, like Costa has the secret juice and all the rest of it. That's a t-shirt waiting to happen. It's a phenomenal fight though. I saw a video, someone posted it on Twitter, and it slowed down some elements of the first fight where Jiri, because he does use these very over-exaggerated fainting motions as if he's going to shoot for the legs and throw punches. Like when he faints, he's really fainting. He's not just doing little twitches. He's shaking his head around like a madman. And he did have Pereira biting on them. And he did land a few times, and he did kind of have Pereira, I'm not going to say hurt, but the punches definitely resonated and definitely had a big impact. I just feel that he's not going to be quite as foolhardy to shoot in the way that he did. If he does shoot in, he's going to make sure that he has his head buried on the inside as opposed to the outside, you know, where he can land the elbows. And I think the offbeat rhythm and the timing will give Pereira some problems. And as I said before to Tom, Pereira's only human. As big of a fan as I am, because I am a huge fan, and people were saying, because I said I picked Jiri by knockout, people were like, Bisping always picks against him. And it's true. I have. And it's not because I dislike the guy. It's not because I want him to lose. It's because I thought Jamal Hill might have been the guy to do it. Do you know what I mean? And the first time I thought, Jiri switched on. He's going to do it. And now once again, maybe I believe in the underdogs. Call it what you will. You know, who's your pick, Harrington?
I mean, coming into the first Alex versus Jiri fight, I had Jiri just because I was concerned with whether or not Alex's power really translated to 205. Now we've seen 3 fights at 205. He didn't get the finish against Jan, finished Jamal Hill in spectacular fashion, finished Jiri. You know, some people say it was an early stoppage, whatever the case may be. But I mean, you saw his power on display. So as long as that power does translate up to 205, I can't pick against him, especially in a fight where I don't think wrestling's going to be implied by Jiri all that heavily.
Yeah, of course, and that's a fair point. And I think it's a logical stance to take. You know, I mean, he is knocking everybody out. That is his one trick, but it's a very, very successful trick. Do you know what I mean? You don't need, when you've got a trick like that, you don't need any other tricks. Just keep the fight on the feet, swing for the fences, use that left hook, put everyone to sleep, take them to the shadow realm, and then go back home to the tribesmen, to the shamans, you know, and pray to your gods. Happy days. But I still think Jiri does it. I don't know. I've just got a feeling. Of course, co-main event. In fact, Brian, we'll let you be the middleman on this. Who you got, buddy?
I got Alex. Alex is the one touch, you know, like, I mean, dude's, he's been knocking everybody out. Like you said, I think Alex is going to keep doing that for quite a while.
He's got the touch of death.
Yeah.
He does. I just love how, and I've said this before, like, he doesn't talk much. He's a man of few words, and he doesn't really smile that much, but he does seem to have a very warm energy to him. You see him interacting with people, you see him changing the tire, and I've seen other examples of kind behavior like that as well. You know, it makes you warm towards him.
But he has a great sense of humor, like, or maybe somebody on his team does, because the amount of just memes and trolls that he goes through on the internet, it's great. He's great. No, a great follow on Twitter.
I see all those, like, you know, little viral clips and stuff. He's great. And then the translator, that's always with him, you know, the big heavyset dude. Those guys are close. I don't think I've ever seen Pereira without seeing him.
Well, I mean, if he's your interpreter in a foreign land where you don't speak the language, you kind of need that guy with you.
That's Tom Aspinall's version of his dad. You know,
yeah.
You got to have a wingman. You got to have your right hand man. Fair play. That fight's going to be tremendous.